plane. So, what can I say?
I would think they would add provisions for interlocking or something,
Yeah.
something in the code.
No videos now. You can only use still photography.
Yeah, you're on candid camera, Chief.
No, come on, man.
You'll be on YouTube tonight.
Just as long as it doesn't show up on America's funniest videos, okay?
Well, in your class, you being
Or
funny.
Most wanted, let's put it that way. Any other questions on this? I can think we kind of beat this one to death.
You should have put your golfing shorts on for video.
We'll put them on lunchtime. This is something that showed up new in 2012. Evidently, somewhere in the country, they were tying these two exhausts together. We don't do this here in Arizona. I've never seen this in Arizona. Has anybody ever seen this, where you tie these two together?
Common practice.
No.
I've never seen it.
But like I said, somewhere, and they must have put this in here for a reason. I can't imagine why. But yeah, kitchen and bathroom exhaust together. Makeup air. The code section requires makeup air at a rate approximately equal to the exhaust air rate of domestic kitchen exhausts. So if you have a 400 CFM like commercial type exhaust hood for these big custom homes, you may come under this requirement of makeup air. What you do is you go back to the designer and you say, no, you want to design that hood at 395 CFM because I don't want to bring in outdoor air. Okay?
You know, that's really hard to believe in a 10,000 square foot custom home that you would need makeup air even at 400 CFM.
I know. There's so much volume.
So much volume, room in comparison,
But
plus
one nice thing about it though is it does have to have a motorized damper and it has to be interconnected with the hood. So when you turn on the hood exhaust, the makeup gun, the damper opens up. And otherwise it's supposed to be closed and so you're not heating and cooling that air coming in. But then like I pointed out earlier today, you still have that heat transfer coming through that metal duct into the house and stuff. So it's a problem. That's what it looks like. Some of these ranges are really big on these custom homes. Grease duct material, 16 gauge, 18 gauge for stainless steel. Then he says, exception, factory built commercial kitchen grease ducts listed and labeled. But you're going to see pictures of that in the Cardinal Stadium. It has some pictures in the presentation that you're going to see listed grease duct material. So that's kind of nice. It's expensive, but it sure beats in a big stadium like that. It sure beats building an enclosure around it. Shaft. Duct joint types. Tells you that you're limited to a welded flange joint to a depth of ½ inch. You don't want a lot of grease accumulating on those things. The grease ducts always have to be tested. They can be tested in two ways. You can test them if it's a short duct and it's just going to go through a short roof area. They can set it on the floor and run a 100-watt light bulb down in. The light has to be open on all the way around, 360 degrees. And the inspector is supposed to stand there and look to see whether they see any light penetrating the welded joints on the grease duct. If it's a big system, then they should drop the light down through the roof. Okay? And you may have to get on a ladder to inspect the top portion of it, to make sure that there's no imperfection, holes or cracks in the duct system. The contractor has to provide all that equipment, including the light, the ladders, and everything else, scaffolding, whatever is required. Safety equipment, the harnesses, manless, like in the football stadium. I was up on those a few times. Any
Isn't there
questions
an
on
allowance for a smoke test?
Hmm?
Isn't there a smoke test that's allowed in lieu of the light test?
They might accept the smoke test. But you'd have to plug it off, that'd be hard to plug it off.
No,
Yeah,
Really, how do they plug the bottom and the top off at the same time?
tape it.
you just, you get either sheet metal blanks or it doesn't really need to be that robust, just seal both ends and then let it smoke bomb. That tells me, because with a flashlight running up and down a duct on a smoke test, you can see the smoke leaks. Isn't that still allowed in the code?
And they don't mention it, I'm sure jurisdictions would allow it if you could show how you're going to properly do it.
Well, there's a problem with the light test, and I'll tell you what it is. We got like an 8-foot section of duct, and you're trying to light test it either in place, or longer, or more sections, or on the floor, like you said, and you're in a room that's lit, okay? Even if it's not lit, it's just light from outside. It's not that really, it's a little difficult to tell. We always smoke test them. Put a bunch of smoke bombs in there. I always have them put twice as many as they want to put in.
So what did you do? You
They take a
welded
blank
the plate on the bottom and the top?
where the duct is welded to the hood at the bottom, from inside the hood. Use a sheet metal blank, and they just tape it off. Go up on the roof, drop the bombs, and seal the top. You can look at the weld on the hood, you can look at any intermediate weld, and you'll see it and smell it.
I think most jurisdictions would probably approve either way.
Yeah.
The code is pretty, stuck with the light test. And generally speaking, it's a lot darker up in the ceiling spaces, so you could see the light.
That's not too much of a problem.
And, it always starts at the ceiling and goes up, unless you're doing a short one on the floor.
Right.
Those long horizontal runs you run into a lot. That'd be hard to drag the light through there.
There you go.
Yeah, you'd have to drag it through it. So you'd have to lower it all the way down and then pull it back up to the roof. If you have really long grease ducts like they do in, it's not Bank One Ballpark anymore, what's it called, Chase Field? Where the Diamondbacks play? They have really long grease ducts there, and they had to put in grease reservoirs like they have here. And the code has defined what those grease reservoirs have to be like and what kind of cleanouts they have to get to them. Back then, it wasn't in the code of grease reservoirs. So basically, everything had to be sloped back to the hood, but it was too long to slope it in the ballpark, so they had to do the grease reservoirs. So they would slope it up a little ways, and then they have a grease reservoir, and then they have low parts and go back up. Kind of difficult. This is the requirements for the